Good. Yes. Good. 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 We're going to have some fun. We are. Fun is learning. Good. Hey, I'm Sandra LaFlamme with Canines for Heroes. The neatest thing about brain injury recovery and brain health is the quantum physics of now you're creating your own energy, your own future, your own healing. Because as you focus on things that bring healing, it changes your future. Now, then you give your brain command over what am I doing now? What am I working on? And now you have a service dog that gives you that ultimate positive reinforcement, which sets off all sorts of dopamine and serotonin. So, the best thing about a highly trained service dog is your future healing and your current opportunity if you decide to seize it. Now, you can work with your pet at this level and have the same dopamine. That's why more than 55% of the population says, hey, I relate more to animals, specifically my dog, than I do people. That's because dogs never lie. They are constantly learning you, like Cowgirl is constantly learning me. She's 11. We've been together this whole time. And 10 years ago, 9 years ago, 8 years ago, I was not doing these videos. I was not teaching. I was one of those people that actually was learning and growing and becoming better, but going through the facial reconstruction and all the other things that were going on, the challenges, I kept moving forward, but it was really something to behold at the time. Lots of learning, lots of growing. And it leads me to now being able to speak to you, to show you what I've learned, and also teach back what all our great trainers love you to understand. And at Top Tier Canine, the group we use to train our foundation dogs, they love to train people too. We have virtual training, online training, and in-person training that all brings it home for everyone that we support with Canines for Heroes. So I'm teaching at a high school for athletes this week. And one of the things that comes up over and over again is how do you teach Cowgirl or any of our service dogs to pick things up on command? We're not talking fetch, but even though there are people who are like, yeah, I throw the item, but my dog doesn't bring it back. There's a series of commands where you keep it basic that allow a service dog or your pet to stay on a climb and walk around and not leave the perimeter. It starts a little bit at a time. When she was puppy, I kept her here and I would say, good. And I would walk around and say, good. And as long as she could go was where I kept reinforcing the very next day to go even longer. Because sometimes on a climb, if I'm at work or like I'm in the middle of a classroom, I don't necessarily have something for her to be on. I have a space that she's free to be comfortable on, move around on, and as you can see, stay on. And she's comfortable right now. So this can take a couple of hours if it's a school setting or I'm at work. Your service dog goes everywhere with you, absolutely everywhere. So two things. I'm going to show you the beginning of having a dog do something because you told them to do, not because it's like a game. Here we go. But I will show you how I make it game-like so you could keep progressing with your dog. And this can be any dog, your Chihuahua, your Jack Russell, your Pit Bull mix, your Labradoodle. Now, every dog has its own capabilities. So you just have to measure what your dog is capable of. And one of the best things when you're working with your dog on simple obedience, now most of the students I'm around that have dogs in their home, they've done simple obedience things already. The dog doesn't go to the bathroom in the house. They sit, they lay down, they can stay for just a little bit. Everyone said their dogs go absolutely barky, barky crazy when somebody rings the doorbell or knocks on the door. So when you're training the dog to do something because you told them to do, it is now elevating that dog's understanding beyond what their natural senses, their ears, eyes, and nose, are telling them to do based on their natural reaction. So you're not going to violate anything with the dog. In fact, as long as you keep telling the truth to your dog, when you say X, X is what you want. And you're there to reinforce it in a gentle way. And you always start with food. You always lure them into the position with food. And you always try to make it around the food time that you would normally feed the dog. Instead of putting the bowl down, you're the reward and the food comes from you. And if you keep doing that, then the dog knows, okay, I trust her or him. What they have to say is always true. And I can associate it with something really good. Dinner time. Okay, so the good thing about teaching your dog to do something on command, and that is one of the things I demonstrate a lot with Cowgirl, where she picks all sorts of stuff up. But it started with, I gave her something to do, and I said, take, T-A-K-E. And when she didn't do it, there was no food. And that can go up to 3 days. So if you feed twice a day, each meal, if you say take, Cowgirl, now you first have to have their attention. Now the fun thing is, I always train around farm animals. The ones that are in my yard right now are chickens walking by. So she's watching them. As soon as I set food down, the chickens will be over here. So she knows, like, Mom, make sure you keep the chickens out of my food. She can trust me for that. Okay, Cowgirl. So you want your dog's attention. Are we looking at each other? Are we observing each other? I have her attention. She still is, you can hear the chicken. She's still making sure this chicken isn't going to come and do something. Cowgirl, take. Now, Cowgirl, after 11 years, is very gentle with her take. Good. Now, because we've done this for 11 years, I'm not going to immediately reward her for food. She knows we're going to get food. But the take is, you're going to have something that's okay for them to chew on. In the classroom, I show my sweatshirt. She's not going to rip my sweatshirt. But if you're dealing with a puppy and their sharp teeth, you want something that you can maintain control of. So you're presenting it, and let's pretend you say that and the dog doesn't take it. Well, then there's no food. And you just go on about your day. And then dinner time, you present it, you say, take. And once your dog takes it, good. And then you feed them right away. So it could, I've never seen it take more than 3 days. But at that third day, when the dog's like, oh, they're really serious, because you got to watch it. Your dog will game the system. And the system is, can I get you to feed me without me having to work for it or earn it? So in this case, Cowgirl, take. Now I'm going to add a little game to it. You want it? This is tug. And if you have the favorite tug toy, you can incorporate this with the take. Now, the reason why tug, yes, yes, good, yes, yes, good. Look at her, she's staying on the place. Good, 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 yes. You got to make sure you don't get bit. Good, yes. Now I'm letting her win, and I'm helping her drive. You always want to keep your dog's drive in place, especially if you got to spend a lot of time in an office or in the house working, because that's where your office is. Simple drive things. I know. Yes. Your dog. Yes, your dog. Yes, you good dog. You. Yeah. Good, good, good. we're keeping it pretty easy because somehow in her head she's like, and I'm also going to stay on the place, which is hilarious. But dogs love to build up on things. It's a mental exercise, and now she's engaged with me. I know, you're the good one. Yes, good. Okay, now I'm really going to let her win. Oh, okay, we're going to play some more. Okay. You really want to let your dog win. This feeds their soul. This is such a doggy dog thing. And when your dog's sharing it with you, good. Oh, there you go. She's not even thinking about this is dinner time. We will have dinner. Yeah, good. Now here's a real fun one that I've taught the take. We played the tug. Pick it up. Good. Out. O-U-T. Big one. The fair time to ask for it back or to say out is not in the middle of a tug. It's right when they are stopped tugging and they're just holding it. So that's a multi-layered command chain sequence that you can do with your dog that's based on you're telling them what to do. I incorporate a little bit of fun in there, but it is based on my command, not the fetch and the open play, but it is something to not only build a rapport with your dog, build your dog's esteem for drive, it also builds the layers of understanding that your dog has with their brain. The brain exercise is more exercise than physical. Yes, you got to do the physical. Did we have a long walk this morning, and did I play fetch with her? There's stuff you got to do every day with your dog, but guess what? It's a privilege, and it creates positive brain health, feeds your serotonin, feeds your dopamine, and then gives you a life that is so filled with positive things with your dog that you can go anywhere and do anything that you decide that you want to do based on who you are and what your dog is to you. If it's a service dog, then we're going to cover that ahead of time. Here's the fun thing. We train you to work with your dog. We don't bring a dog into your house and then go, hey, does everyone get along with this? We do all the screening up front. We do the dog training. The foundation dog is what we do. And then we match it up to your scent. She can sense what's going on with me because of our bonding and what that chemistry means to her because she's my service dog. And let me say this, when I was 4, I was running across a horse field all by myself, and I got run over by horses. Thank you, Lord, that I'm here to talk about it. Animals do not see a 4-year-old as a little human. They see it as a wild animal, and they just were like, let's get this wild animal out of our area. The humans, number one, should have kept me out of the field, but number two, that I'm lived to talk about it, I can tell you that somebody did teach me how to be around horses. Yeah, I had a head injury at 10, another one at 16. That 16 one, and when I was in my 20s. Those were horse-related, me riding very advanced skills. But what got me into my 20s of being a person paid to ride these horses at this horse farm was because I became a very advanced rider because somebody took the time when I was 4 to teach me how to behave myself around horses, thusly around dogs. You keep the 4-year-olds out of the horse's face, out from underneath their hoofs, out from running in the field. You don't let a little kid in the face of your dog. You make sure that your dog has a safe place to eat, to sleep. Now, if it's a service dog, it needs to be with you at all times. But if you have little kids anywhere, you want to make sure the dog stays safe. And like today at the YMCA, next to the stair machine, there was a parent out of the corner of my eye that was letting their kid run towards my dog. I needed to keep my dog safe and the kid safe. And I'm not at the YMCA to train kids and adults. So I just kept the kid from bothering Cowgirl, and it gave the parent time to get there. So depending on where you are, and I'm at the YMCA all the time, I know that could happen. At least where I am in the adult area, there are not kids running around. It's just a maybe random, rare, unattended, young adult with a parent that might be new to the situation. That there are a lot of us there with service dogs. So it's generally a really good environment, but that doesn't mean I'm not constantly making sure that my dog stays safe. I watch it around traffic, I watch it in parking lots, and for sure I feed her holistic, raw food. I make sure she gets plenty of exercise, plenty of sleep, and it's rubbed off on me too. So thanks for tuning in to Canines for Heroes. If you have any questions, you can go to our website at caninesforheroes.org, or send us an email, or just click on here and we'll look at your comments. And thanks for hanging out with us. I hope that helped today. You ready for some food? I'll be right back. Stay. Good. Yes, you are the good girl. Good girl. That's the jackpot. After all of that, it's a real jackpot, and I let her enjoy her dinner. But when I was training her, I did it a little bit at a time. You have a great day, and I'll see you more.